Welcome back to episode 5 of the collaborative series with ourselves, Carp Interest and Gemini Carp Tackle. We're still hunting for that elusive 40-pounder, so that brings us today to Coking Farm Fisheries. We're on Oak Lake and we're hoping that the next 72 hours can produce that 40-pound fish.
So we left the Midlands at 7 o'clock this morning and we made the 3-hour drive down south. We're bankside now. We're almost finished setting up. We're just about to start having a quick lad about just to find out what's in front of us before we start tying up some rigs and then go more in depth with tactics.
So we've got pegs 23, 24 and 25 booked up on this session. We've opted to fish in pegs 23 and 25 and leave 24 free, just to give us a little bit of a safe haven for the fish. Just going to have a lead about now. First couple of casts, it seems pretty clear, so I don't think there'll be any worries with presenting a bait. Yeah, happy with that. So my baiting approach for this session, I've got a lovely island tree line directly ahead of me, and I'm just going to scatter boilie in that general area. I'm not too worried about where they go. We've got 3 days here this session, so I just want to get them grubbing about and picking up the odd boilie, and then I'm going to cast my rods over there, but I'll go into more detail about what rigs and bait I'm using a little bit later. I'm going to take the time to explain my rod placement and tactics for this session, or at least what I'm going to begin with. My left-hand rod, I've gone to the middle of the opening between the 2 islands. I've gone with a turbo German rig on there, one of the turbo German booms, with a match the hatch Parker Baits wafter. The middle rod for now is a solid bag on the tree line on the far island opposite me. And the right-hand rod at the minute is lent up the bivvy, ready to go with a solid bag in case I see any fish.
So you join me in peg 23. Weather is looking very gloomy, very overcast, very carpy, I must say. We've got a strong wind blowing at us, so I won't be surprised if we have a fish early on tonight. Sat here behind 3 rods. Our approach, Liam's already ran through his approach. My approach isn't too far different. Very simple, 2 solid bags and 1 Ronnie rig. Just a few of the house pellets in the bait bowl. Says online, I've read a lot saying house pellet works well here. Hopefully the fish following this wind. I've got a Ronnie rig right in the middle of the lake with a load of boilie on top of it, and then my 2 solid bags are 1 off the point of the island and then 1 just off this tree that's coming off the island. So I'm trying to cover a few bases, but yeah, very simple tactics to start. Fingers crossed we can get one on the bank nice and early to take that pressure off. But yeah, happy days. Always nice to be out on the bank, and it always makes it a little bit better, especially when you've got a brownie slice in your hand. Bit dry. Thought it was going to be better than that.
Sitting patiently with a rod up the bivvy has paid off, because a little spot out there where I put some boilies earlier, I've just saw a fish roll. Bang on it, so hopefully little solid bag, injected it with some flat spot, hopefully we can get one on the bank. Coming up to 6 o'clock now on the first day. We're all settled in, rods are all out, bait's all out, and we're just settling into a 3-day session.
You know, next 3 days here, anything could happen. Could be here on day 3 with no fish, could be here with a 40-pounder. We're going to get some burgers on tonight for that. Yes. Bankside burgers. Bankside burgers is back. It's my turn this time. I've bought some. Yeah, for now we're just going to kick back, watch the water, have a little bit of a social. Fingers crossed we can get one of these absolute units on the bank, because I think we're due a big fish. It's time for Bankside Burgers, and it's over to Liam because it's his turn to sort the burgers out.
But before we get on to the burgers, I've gone a little bit different this time and I've got us a starter. So, we've got 2 chili halloumi skewers. The chili will stay in the pan and I'll put the burgers in on top of the chili, but we'll get onto the burgers in a bit. We'll cook these halloumi skewers first. You ready for this? It's gonna change your life.
You look good, mate, to be honest. Oh, you got a fork?
Yeah, it fell off the skewer.
Yeah, the other half live, eh? Yeah, it's good, that is, mate.
Solid little starter. We've got Morrison's The Best steak burgers, and we're gonna cook them in the chili that's come off the halloumi. There you go, kind sir.
Thank you very much, madam. I'm gonna squash mine down in a minute. The cheese is starting to melt down the side.
That could have been catastrophic. It was nearly only reviewing 1 burger then.
This is Liam's score on the Morrison's Best Burger.
In your first 7, I think.
Yeah, I was about the 7 mark, to be fair. Kind of amazing, but
No, it's not amazing,
nice.
but it's nice. Definitely nice.
On this edition of Bankside Burgers, the Morrison's Best Burgers just got a 7 out of 10. So I would recommend it on the bank. Yeah, give it a try. Oh. So, out the blue, just sorting my bivvy out. A few beeps. I looked out and the rod tip was bent over, got a tight clutch. Giving me a little battle by the net. I'm half considering it might be a catfish. But then a catfish, mate, it's a big carp. Oh, it's a catfish.
Is it?
Sure, that's a catfish then. Oh, it's pulled. Catfish. I got catfished. That fish in that battle come off towards the end when I got a bit closer to the bank. I did see it was a catfish at the last minute, but evidently throughout the battle you could see how it was because it was fighting vigorously. But it made me do a change because the Evans opened just shortly after and I was going to have an issue trying to get a solid bag back out in the boat with all the rain coming down. So what I've done now is I've swapped them over from solid bags to a lead clip system, and I've got 2 Ronnie rigs and a turbo German on for now. When the weather picks up tomorrow I may change back. I'll see how tonight goes with these rigs. But yeah, 3 lead clip system because I knew I could get them out in the rain. So it's about to rain again in a moment, and if I get one in the night, it's going to be easier to load the bait boat up and get it out there with all the hassle. But yeah, that's us for the tonight. Hopefully we can get a bit more action and we can get a fish on the bank, but I am quite confident we're going to get one tonight or early morning. Yes, that's 2 rods out the water. Left-hand rod had a backdrop, reeled into it, nothing there. And about 20 minutes later, the middle rod, same again, a backdrop again, reeled into it, but this time we got this little catfish, so I think we might have a few of these on this trip by the look of this. But we're just going to unhook this one in the net and just going to slip it back, because we're still after that elusive 40-pound carp.
It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm finally off the mark with the target species. The left-hand rod out into open water. Big drop back. I had to reel in about 30 yards of line before I felt contact with the fish, but it was absolutely nailed. Lovely to get off the mark. Confidence levels always go up once you get that first fish off a new water. But it's still quite early, so we're going to get it back, get back into bed. Come on. Morning update time, and these are the morning updates that I really do love. Right hand rod on the solid bag, just on the point of the island. rattled off. We've got ourselves a beautiful mirror. It's a mid-20, we have weighed it, but we've got to deduct the sling once it's back. We'll let you know what it's gone. But yeah, like I say, a solid bag. Match the hatch Parker Baits wafter over that scattering of boilie. They're definitely getting bigger. Hopefully that 40-pounder's only round the corner. A little bit of damage on a scale there down the centre, but I'll put a bit of propolis on that before we slip it back. Buzzing. First night, 2 fish. Get in there. After them 2 fish this morning, I'm just going to follow the same routine that I did when we first got here yesterday. I'm just going to scatter some more boilie around the 2 rods on the tree line, and then the rod out in the middle that did the first fish this morning, I'll just be dropping that with a bait with a mixture of pellets and boilie in it.
So Liam having those 2 fish this morning, this gave us that confidence boost we needed. Oh, you never really feel that confident until you're off the mark, so it's given me a bit of confidence now that they're biting. And I'm just catapulting some freebies out to the far margin where I'm going to stick a rod when I get back, because at the moment we're just going to go for a calf this morning and fill our stomachs. Talk a bit of tactics. The conditions have changed today. It's gone from overcast, cool and windy to very sunny and warm, so that could play a factor in it. So we've got to try and adapt a bit later on if we aren't having anything, but get a couple more of these fired over to the far margin, and then we'll get off ourselves to the calf and have a little scram.
Just got back from a lovely breakfast down at the cafe on site. We've got back, the sun is absolutely blistering. We're just going to flick singles out, I think, onto the shallowest shelf on the side of the island. We found out it's about 1.5 to 2 foot deep on there. Plenty of fish cruising along the island, so hopefully we can just pinch a bite before it cools down, and then we can get onto the bottom onto our spots.
Moving into the afternoon now, it's about 1 o'clock. The sun is still beaming down. I think it's in for the rest of the day now. There's parts of cloud, but most of the day it's gonna be like this, which is perfect for the angler, but not so much for the fish. It's so warm and we've seen so many cruising across the top. I nipped up to the shop down the road and I got myself a bag of mixers. And I've been catapulting them out the last couple of hours, trying to get a bit of interest, but I haven't really got anything taken, anything at the moment. I think one's taken one off the top and the ducks have moved in now, but I'm going to persist for about another hour, try and get one on the bank. After that, I think we're going to go down to Liam and he's going to talk you through a couple of his rigs. Yeah, they're swimming straight past it. No interest at all. So I put the floater rod down for the time being. I've had a lot of ducks come into the swim. I can't feed them away. So I'm going to take this moment just to run you through a rig we're both going to be using tonight. That being said, we're both opting for the Gemini Carp Tackles Tidy Boom, the Turbo German rig. So the reason why we're both opting for the Turbo German rig tonight is because early this morning, Liam had 2 carp on a wafter. I had Ronnie rigs out and pop-ups out all night and I only managed the catfish, and we're here for the carp. So we're both going on a wafter tonight, and we're putting it on the Turbo German rig because it's a great way to present a wafter. Just some positives about the rig itself. They have a 30-pound braking strain. It's made using fluorocarbon fused bond technology, which is stronger than any conventional knot. Has a light refractive index of 1.42, so when it's out there in the lake, it's near enough invisible. Not only that, but it has its kicking away capabilities, so it is picked up in the night. It will always reset itself. They do come in 3 different lengths. They come in 5.5 inches, 7 inches, and 9 inches. On this occasion tonight, I'm going for the 5.5 inches, purely because I'm putting it out with a bait boat, and I know it's not going to sink into the silt too much. However, if I was casting it, I would probably opt for the 7 or 9, just in case that lead plugs. It leaves plenty of boom out there to present the wafter at the end.
To make this rig couldn't be any simpler. First thing, take a length of heat shrink tubing, pass it over the eye of the hook of your choice. Take the boom that you've decided to use, put the spinner swivel end through the eye of the hook, like that. Simply slide the heat shrink tube back over the eye of the hook and the spinner swivel itself. Heat up the shrink tube. I'm using a lighter, but I'd recommend using a kettle. Onto your method of attaching bait. This could be a bait screw or a micro ring swivel. Then slide your hook bead over the point of the hook to the desired place. Final step is to add the anti-tangle sleeve. Now, as we explained earlier, the booms themselves will reset. So the anti-tangle sleeve isn't necessary, but it will add that extra resetting property to the rig. Final step is to add the bait of your choice. We've gone for the OG fish wafter. Like we've already said, we've gone for the bait screw this session, but I would recommend that if you're anywhere where there's a lot of bird life or crayfish, that you go for the micro ring swivel, because it will give you that added bit more security that the bait won't come off. So it's that time of the evening. We've persevered with different tactics all day, but it's time to get the rods down on the deck now. The sun's fading behind us, and hopefully the fish are going to get down and feed. So that's the bait boat loaded. I've got 2 lots of pellets in there, the OG fruit and nut and the OG fish, boilie crumbs, and then just to top it off, I've gone with the OG fish sauce, because the water's really murky and any added attraction is going to home them in on the bait.
So Liam's just got his rods out. I'm respecting the same. We've ordered from the calf, like we've already said. That'll be in about 10-15 minutes. So I've got the challenge of getting all 3 rods out on the spots where I'm happy, and hopefully we can get a fish on the bank tonight. And this one, just loading it with house pellet with a turbo German wafter just sat on top. So all 6 rods are out now for us. We're happy where they've been out. All we can do now is hope, but I am feeling slightly confident we are going to get one on the bank this evening. The chip shop platter from the Gone Fishing calf that's on site looks delicious. Got some mushy peas, some curry sauce, a couple of cans of pop, and you got like a chocolate cheesecake dessert.
Yeah, crunchy cheesecake.
With it, yeah.
We've got some fish in there, a couple of different fish. I think it's haddock cod, a couple of sausages, a battered sausage,
scampi, chips, mayonnaise. So we're going to tuck into this, but literally about 2 minutes ago, as we put the food down, Liam's rod in the middle of the lake let off a little blistering run, and he just played it and just come off. How long did you have it on?
Oh, a sec. I felt it literally for a second as I lifted into it. I've almost pulled the hook out of its mouth as I've lifted into it. So that was on the solid bag with a little pink magic bean wafter. So
yeah, well, that's positive signs.
Definitely.
Now it's time for us to have a bite.
Time for us to feed before that rod gets back out, I think.
Yes, come on then. So that meal from the Gone Fishing calf on site was absolutely delicious. Lovely evening drawing in. Sunset's going to be nice tonight. It's just starting to set. The wind started pushing into my peg now, so it's favouring my side. So fingers crossed, I'm feeling slightly more confident than I was earlier. Liam's just tied up a solid bag, ready to get it out back on the spot from that little run he had earlier. But positive signs, and yeah, let's get over to Liam, let's get the solid bag out.
So exactly the same stuff's gone in the boat as it did when it first went out about an hour ago. You're gonna get it to the exact same spot again, and hopefully the result will be better this time.
Liam's put his rod back out, and that means all 6 rods are back in the lake. Settings are very good, very promising. I don't think it's going to be long before we get another run. Oh, what? Literally bobbing, smashed off the pod, and there's nothing there. Did say I was going to get a run soon. Let's get it back out. Come on, take two.
So as day two comes to an end, night time's fast approaching. It's been an incredibly long day. It's been a warm day. If I haven't caught anything else, I've caught a sunburn. But yeah, we're getting ready to settle down now for the evening. Pete's got his rod back out, as you just saw. And yeah, confidence levels are high, I think. And we're waiting to see what the night brings. Wow, wait until you see this fish. He absolutely battered me on the way in. It's still beating me up now. Just shy of the 30 pound mark, 29 pound 2 ounces I think it went. But the scales down its back by the dorsal fin, absolutely unbelievable. This is one of the ghosties that we saw swimming around the surface earlier. Chuffed to get it on the mat. Get in. Another victim of the solid bag. This time it was a 12mm pink magic beam wafter that's done the business. My go-to, Mr. Reliable. What a fish, I'm in awe. Off you go. Well, I am absolutely made up with that fish. It's those ghosts are the ones that me and Pete have been looking at photos of on Facebook for the last couple of weeks. And we get here and we manage to land one. And the fish are getting bigger. So we started off with a small catfish, a low 20, a mid 20, and now an upper 20. So hopefully the next one could be the one that breaks this challenge. It's getting on for midnight now, so I think it's time to get these lights turned off and get back in the bed.
So just when I thought I was off the mark and I was onto the carp, another baby cat has come along. Literally got the rods back out within 5 minutes, it's gone. We've just done up this one and we're just going to slip it back, save getting all slimy.
Absolutely no sleep. This one just wants to beat me up as well. Scraper 20. This one's come to the solid bag. Not going to mess about too much with this one because I seriously need to get my head down and get a couple of hours sleep. You can see day breaking just over my right hand shoulder here. So we'll get this one back, tie up another solid bag, get it out and try and get some shut eye for an hour. Get in.
So, good morning, we're on day 2. Last night was quite productive for us. I had a couple of fish, Liam had about 3 I think. All through the night, whether it be a run or a fish, at like 1 AM, 2 AM, 3 AM, something was happening. So we didn't really get into that point where we could have a sleep. I think we both managed about an hour and a half all the way through till like 6, 7 this morning. I definitely need to get back in and have another nap, but I thought I'm just gonna watch the water for a bit, have a little snack. Once I've finished, jump back in bed, probably have myself another hour, power nap. And I'm thinking I might shoot up the top of the complex, have a shower, get a breakfast, come back all revitalised. I got off the mark last night, but in the midst of the madness, like a numpty, didn't switch my mic on, so I'm holding a fish to the camera, talking, with absolutely nothing coming out. What a wally. And that was on my middle rod, which is 2 rod lengths off the edge of the island. It's done me a catfish, but I put it back there thinking if the catfish are feeding there, the carp can be as well. I'm off the mark with a carp, happy days. Liam had another 2 or 3 carp last night, I can't even remember, it's all a blur, but I'm sure we'll talk about that a bit later on. It was a misty morning this morning, temperatures dropped, fog everywhere, couldn't see a thing, but it's turned out to be a beautiful morning. So yeah, trying to watch the water for a bit more, have a little snack, and then maybe jump in bed for an hour or 2 before I go and get a breakfast. Scattering a boilie with a catapult over the area against the far margin. Here he is. Little sleeping diva. Shattered I am.
I'm going to follow Pete's suit now and I'm going to get some boilie out over my area. The only thing I'm going to do different tonight is I'm going to move all 3 rods into that middle channel because the 2 fish I had last night both come to the left-hand rod, the middle and right was quiet, so I definitely think that channel out in the open is where the majority of the fish are holding up. So just a sporadic scattering in and around that area. I just want them picking up the odd one. I'm not too worried as long as it's within that area.
So we're back, all refreshed, all clean, ready to get the rods back out now. So yeah, my approach for this afternoon, it's a bit overcast, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be casting singles out there over the areas where I've been putting the bait boat, because I know there'll be a little bit of bait on the bottom, just to try and pinch a bite. And then tonight, when I redo the rods, I'm going to send them out in the bait boat with all that house pellets and a bit of a traction. If we can keep the momentum we're going at, I think there's going to be a few more fish on the bank. I'm just hoping we can get amongst some of those A-team in this lake. And again, just going to keep that scatter of boilie over that far margin because I feel like it's going to work its magic eventually.
Whilst Pete was firing out his singles after that trip down to the shower blocks for a freshen up this morning, I decided to take refuge in the bivvy and have an hour just bolstering my attack, ready for what's hopefully going to be another sleepless night for us here. So I've tied up 5 solid bags, just my usual simple blowback rig in there, about 4 inches in length, using the Parker Baits Magic Beam wafters in pink and yellow. Pink seemed to be what was doing the business yesterday, so hopefully it can continue that trend.
I was sat in my bivvy and I was just doing up some rigs for tonight. My left-hand rod, a couple of bleeps. I looked outside and the rod tip was moving, so I was quite convinced something was on. I've hit into it. Straight away, I've seen a tail come out on the far margin where I've been baiting, and it come out a good length. So for some reason, I just had catfish on my mind. It started to take a bit of line, playing it in. I got it in closer, and literally when that back just broke the water, and I seen it was a carp, I said to Liam, I said, put the camera down, get the net. I said, we need to land this. Got to the net, scooped it. As soon as it's crossed the cord of that net, Liam said, it can't be. Something very special has just happened and I still can't take it in. Me and Liam are both shaking. Oh my word. Absolute unit. As we start to lose hope for a daytime bite, the left-hand rod just peeled into action. And it's just brought this absolute colossal unit on the bank for me, known as the Big Lin, 48 pound, 4 ounces. I am over the moon. I'm probably never ever going to beat this fish again in England. Well, I don't want to, it's absolutely stunning.
That is challenge completed.
Come on, hunt for a UK 40. Get in. So, here's the other side to this colossal unit. You can't even describe the feeling, but I'm going to get him back now, and I'm going to take a good hour before I get the rods in to take in what's just happened. Thank you very much, the Big Lin. Oh my God, what has just happened? So it's been 30 minutes since I caught that fish and I'm honestly still trembling. And I think I will be for the rest of this session. We started this year with Gemini Carp Tackle and ourselves doing this series, Pete and Liam, Young to UK 40. I kind of thought, are we going to do this? Because we've never caught a UK 40 and we are bang average anglers. So we don't get to fish that often. We fish once a month. I knew it was going to be a big task. And it's brought us to this now where literally such a simple rig, a very basic angler, but very results. Couldn't be more simple. Tidy boom, the turbo German rig, match the Hatch Wafter, OG fish. And literally that is what's done me the goods today. We were set the challenge to catch a UK 40 in 8 episodes this year, and we've managed to do it on episode 5. So I've already tied up some rigs earlier. I get them back on the rods now, and I'm going to get all 3 rods out for the night, and we're going to order a takeaway, and we're going to have a beer to celebrate.
So I'm just going to get my final rod out after the absolute commotion of Pete catching that 48 pound 4. I'm absolutely buzzing for him, I genuinely are. We've been fishing together for, can't even remember how long, years and years, and to see him land that 48 pound 4, it's unbelievable. Absolutely buzzing for him, and I don't know how we're going to top it, but we've still got a night left. Hopefully we could both complete the challenge in one video. That's all the rods out for the last evening. I had a bit of a peculiar pickup on one of them. It didn't result in anything, but because it was a solid bag, I wanted to redo it just in case the rig had been moved. But yeah, what a day. What a day.
Out of the blue, yeah. I mean, from the word go today, and well, since the day we got here, he has been saying, I've got a feeling. And then all through the session, I was saying to him, that spot right out there, just under that tree.
That's the banker spot.
I'm going to keep firing boilies over that catapult, and I'm going to cast over there, and something's going to work. And you know,
it's nice when it does though, because again, like we say, we don't claim to be the best anglers. So when we do a bit of good angling, I think we give ourselves some credit. We've worked hard for this today, and like you say, you've persevered with that spot. You've carried on with the you've got through the catfish. Because you've had a couple of catfish, you've had a couple of runs from catfish that we're pretty sure were, and it's all come good in the end. So, well,
I am happy either way. I could reel the rods in there and have a nice sleep, but I'm still gonna get them back out and see what else I can
my
get.
rods ain't coming in, so you'll be up filming my rods if you're not filming your own. But yeah, that's it from us.
Get a bit of a chill on there. We'll probably put the camera away so we can take it in and have a nice chill, and then. I reckon we'll probably see you in a few hours or through the night.
More than likely, if not in the morning. Just had a savage drop back on the left-hand rod. We've been having quite a few throughout the session. Really not sure what it is. I think between us we've come up with a conclusion that it might be catfish picking up our line somewhere, because the water level is well down in here apparently, according to the locals. So we think the shallow water combined with some pretty big catfish swimming around in there is probably what's causing the Savage liners, but it was a solid bag, so it'd have had to have come in anyway in case it had pulled the rig away from the pellet. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put a new solid bag on that's already tied up, get it in the boat and get it back out there. So 2 o'clock, final morning, and another victim to the solid bag and the pink magic bean wafter. It looks tiny after seeing Peach yesterday, but it's definitely a low 20, 23 pound or so I'd say, and the first common of the trip. Still plenty of time for more, so I'm going to slip this one back, get the bait boat back out there with another solid bag and see if we can make 5, 6.
Good morning, it's about 7:30 on the last day. Leaves us about 2.5 hours left to leave. Quite surprised we haven't had more than that one fish that Liam had last night, judging on how the last 2 nights have gone. But on the plus side, we have managed to get a bit more sleep. But thoroughly enjoyed our time here. Stunning lake, you know. It's going to be a session I'm going to remember forever. So I'm grateful for this session.
Yeah, like Pete said, I'm really surprised we haven't had any more. That low 20 common last night's the last one up to yet, but we have still got an hour to go. We've got everything packed away, just the rods left in. We're going to sit and chill for the last hour. Conditions are absolutely perfect for it, so I have got a feeling there's another fish in it.
The conditions look absolutely perfect today. Again, it's overcast. I've got the wind pushing into this peg. I reckon if we could have stayed one more day, we'd definitely have a few out today with these conditions. Looks absolutely perfect for a bite. So it's come to the end of the session. It's been a really good one. Both really enjoyed it, haven't we?
Dream session, especially for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm buzzing with it, but you know, you've had a few fish this session, so you gotta be happy.
I think I'm equally as big. The only thing better than watching your best mate catch a 48 pounder is catching it yourself, I suppose, but it's been a good session all round.
Yeah, so big thanks to Colkin Farm. We've really enjoyed
venue.
it. Yeah, really stunning venue. We'll definitely be back at some point.
Yeah.
Come back for that big common.
Yeah.
And the asylum.
It's crazy to think there's still another 640s to go at in here to target.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll wrap this one up now then. Thank you very much for watching.
And like always, if you are enjoying the videos, please make sure you like and subscribe and follow the journey. See you on the next one.
Thank you very much.
That's not why you say that.